Deep in the shadowed valley where ancient forests cling to the mountain roots, the world shifts without warning. Birds erupt from the treetops in spiraling bursts. Wolves stiffen, sensing vibrations in the soil. The wind pauses, as if the land itself knows what is waking beneath it. This is a place of primal forces, where the ground trembles not from earthquakes, but from the stirring of titans. The air, thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, grows heavy, charged with an unspoken tension. Every leaf, every stone, seems to hold its breath, anticipating the shattering of silence. For generations, this valley has been a sanctuary of quiet grandeur, its peace guarded by the sheer scale of its cliffs and the density of its woods. But peace is a fragile thing, and the ancient powers that slumbered here are now stirring, drawn into a conflict that will reshape the very bones of the world. The vibrations grow stronger, a deep, rhythmic pulse that travels from the heart of the mountain, a war drum beaten by an unseen hand. The Obsidian-Fang Brute emerges from the timberline, each step cracking branches under its colossal weight. Its armor, smooth black obsidian plates, reflects the dim mountain light, glowing faintly with ember-orange streaks pulsing from within. This creature is the mountain's rage given form, a walking bastion of volcanic fury. Its massive fangs rumble with thermal energy, tiny sparks drifting from their edges as it exhales a cloud of superheated air. The ground trembles in response to its presence, sending dust avalanches down nearby slopes and splintering the ancient trunks of the forest. With a roar that is more a geological event than a sound, it stakes its claim. The brute's muscular form moves with a terrifying purpose, its powerful legs turning the soil into a chaotic mess. It is a force of pure, unadulterated aggression, a territorial juggernaut that tolerates no rivals. As it clears the dense woods, its gaze fixes on the towering peaks above, its mind singularly focused on dominance. The very air around it seems to shimmer with heat, the obsidian plates on its back absorbing the faint sunlight and radiating an oppressive warmth. It is not merely passing through. It has come to conquer. Higher above, where the sandy ridges meet the sky, a shadow expands across the cliffs. The Sky-Talon Titan perches on a broken mountain ledge, wings folded like jagged stone blades. Its stone-feathered body reflects a cold turquoise shimmer from the clouds above, a stark contrast to the fiery glow of the beast below. This titan is a being of air and altitude, a predator whose domain begins where the earth ends. When its piercing eyes open, streaks of cold blue light carve through the atmospheric haze, scanning the valley with lethal intensity. The titan spreads its immense wings, releasing a gust of wind strong enough to push loose sand into swirling funnels that dance across the ridge. It is patient, calculating, the embodiment of aerial supremacy. Its silence is more menacing than any roar, a promise of a swift, merciless strike from a vantage point no earthbound creature could ever hope to reach. It watches the brute's ascent, a predator observing its prey, its posture radiating an aura of absolute control. For a moment, both beasts exist in the same world, but not yet in the same moment. The forest falls silent as the brute climbs into the sandy mountain path, each stump leaving glassy molten prints in the earth. Its obsidian plates scrape against the rock, scattering showers of sparks that ignite the dry moss clinging to the stones. A deep, guttural growl echoes off the cliffs, a formal challenge, a warning that the land now belongs to it alone. The Sky-Talon Titan answers not with a sound, but with action. It unfurls its wings to their full magnificent span, catching an updraft and launching itself into the golden haze sky. The first strike is sudden, a blur of motion and a shriek of displaced air. The Titan dives, talons first, a living turquoise missile aimed at the dark form scaling the ridge. The brute, sensing the attack, pivots with impossible speed for a creature of its size. It raises a massive arm, its obsidian plating catching the Titan's glowing claws with a deafening crack that reverberates through the valley. The impact sends a shockwave outward, fracturing the cliffside and showering the forest below with a hail of rock and debris. The Titan, repelled, soars back into the sky, circling as the brute bellows in fury, its internal embers flaring to a brilliant angry orange. The fight has escalated onto the sandy ridges, a battleground of crumbling stone and shifting footing. The brute charges, not at the airborne titan, but at the mountain itself. It slams its shoulder into a towering rock formation, sending a cascade of boulders tumbling down the slope, a makeshift avalanche intended to ground its foe. The titan deftly dodges the stony projectiles, its wings creating powerful downdrafts that whip the sand into a blinding storm, attempting to obscure the brute's vision. The air becomes a chaotic swirl of dust, rock, and shimmering energy. Their conflict moves higher, a deadly dance near the cliff edges. The Sky-Talon Titan uses its aerial advantage, swooping in for high-speed passes, its talons slicing deep grooves into the brute's obsidian armor. Each strike creates a shower of black shards and orange sparks. The brute, in turn, uses its immense strength and connection to the earth. It stomps the ground, creating fissures that race across the ridge, attempting to destabilize the titan's perches. It rips massive slabs of rock from the mountain and hurls them into the air, crude but devastatingly effective anti-air weaponry. The titan is forced to remain in constant motion, a turquoise specter against the turbulent sky, while the brute stands its ground, a black volcano of raw power. One swooping attack brings the titan too close, and the brute seizes its chance. A powerful claw snags the titan's wing, and for a terrifying moment, both titans are locked together, teetering on the precipice of a 1,000-foot drop. The struggle culminates in a moment of pure cataclysmic destruction. With a combined surge of force, the two titans slam into the main peak of the mountain. The sound is not a crack, but a deep mournful groan from the very core of the earth as the mountain itself begins to fracture. A massive fissure splits the peak in two, sending entire sections of the cliff face plummeting into the valley below. Dust waves, hundreds of feet high, rise to choke the sky, blotting out the sun. Trees are pulverized, the forest floor buried under tons of rubble. The battle has ceased to be a simple duel. It has become a geological catastrophe, a force of uncreation that will leave this landscape scarred for millennia. For a brief, terrible instant, all movement ceases, and the only sound is the grinding of a world being torn apart. The mountain, a silent witness for ages, now cries out in agony as it shatters under the weight of their war. As the dust begins to settle, a slow emotional finale unfolds. The Sky-Talon Titan, one wing visibly damaged and its turquoise glow flickering, pushes itself away from the brute. It lets out a cry, no longer a predatory shriek but a sound of pain and reluctant concession. It launches itself unsteadily into the air, its flight labored, and retreats into the dark storm clouds now gathering overhead. The Obsidian-Fang Brute remains, standing amidst the wreckage of the shattered peak. Its obsidian armor is cracked and broken in a dozen places, the ember light within pulsing weakly, like a dying fire. Deep gashes bleed streams of molten energy onto the fractured stone. It does not roar in triumph. Instead, it lets out a long, slow breath, a plume of steam in the cold mountain air. It has won, but the cost is written across its body and the broken landscape around it. The brute stands injured but victorious, a solitary dark silhouette against the setting sun. As silence reclaims the valley, it is a new kind of quiet, not of peace, but of exhaustion and awe. In a world forever changed by the fury of titans,